All right, let's check and see if it started.
Yep. So all praises, right? All honor and glory goes to the Most High, His Son Yahushua, right? All praises. We get to see another Sabbath and being together in unity, work together, right? Trying our best to stay on the right path, right?
All right.
Good, good, right? All praises, right? So something we're finna get into, right? The main topic we're finna get into is our brothers and sisters. And the main problem, hating our own people, hating our own kind. Starting with Sirach chapter 25, verse 1. It's something that we see all the time when we go out street fishing, and not even street fishing, just daily. Right? So, it's the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 1. In three things I was beautified and still beautiful before God and men. So this are three things that the Most High will beautify. Three things that He loves seeing. Right? The unity of brethren, the unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, and a man and a wife that agree together. Three things that the Most High loves seeing with our people. And it's Psalm chapter 133. So we can show that. See what the Most High is saying, right? It's a good thing to dwell together, to try to I'll say raise each other up when we at our numbers. And so, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 133, and verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Right? It's very pleasant unto the Most High for us to dwell together in unity. You see this in the Old Testament and the New Testament. So there's no such thing as putting one away and just dealing with the other. Let's get Hebrews chapter 13, verse 43 for the marriage, right? Come, verse 43. Hebrews 13, and what verse 17? 43. Hebrews 13. 13 and 4. No, no. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. So the Most High said, if you're an adulterer and you dealing with all these other people, right? That's bad. But if you're married, right, you're doing everything right in a marriage. That's lawful, and that's very honorable. But our people look at it other way. Look at it the other way, right? We look at it differently. We start hating it. We come up with all these stereotypes as well. But one main thing I want to talk about is how we'll see all of this and we'll say that we do these things, but we do the complete opposite, right? First and foremost, we give all praise to the Most High. And going into your point about us hating our own people, let me get Zechariah chapter 8. Zechariah chapter 8. So the brother started off with mighty precepts going into Sirach 25, Psalms 133, that the Most High loves when a nation of people treat each other like brothers and sisters. But that's not how we was brought up here in America. That's not what America teaches us. All right. Zechariah chapter 8 and start at verse 16. Okay. Book of Zechariah chapter 8, verse 16. These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. Say that again.
And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor.
So the Most High commanded us, don't imagine evil against your neighbor in your heart. What's your heart? It goes into your mind. You can't be imagining evil things and then saying at the same time, oh, you fear God or you love the Most High. Because to love the Most High is to do what? His commandments. One of his commandments is to love thy neighbor. So keep reading.
Verse 18. And the word of the Lord of hosts came unto me, saying, Thus saith the Lord.
So like you finish 17 again.
Like, and let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath. For all these are things that I hate.
Say that again.
For all these are things that I hate, saith the Lord.
So the Most High, hey, he hate when you hate your neighbor. The Most High hate when you got an evil eye towards your brother or your sister deep in your heart. All right, so we're going to go into the both sides of the stick. You got hating your people and loving your people. Which side do you fall on according to the Most High? All right.
Right. Let me get Romans chapter 12, verse 10. Let's start off with that. Right. Bring this up.
This is the book of Romans. You got it. This is the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 10. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. In honor, preferring one another.
So that's the one side of the stick, loving each other, helping each other, and honoring one another. Right. But a lot of our brothers and sisters don't want to do that. Right. Let me get First John chapter 1, verse 9. So I can go into that. And why is that? Is it because we see all the things that they have, all the things in the world that they have, right? Is it because they got this woman, they got that woman, their status, their quota? Bring this up.
This is the book of First John, chapter 1 and verse 9. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. If we say that we have not sinned, we make him a liar and his word is not in us.
This First John chapter 1, verse 9.
Yeah.
Come on. It's all right. Bring out the last verse.
Come, verse 10. If we say that we have not sinned, we make him a liar and his word is not in us. His word is not in us.
Now get First John chapter 4, verse 20. I'll do that. Right? Because sinning, hating your brother, that's sin. Right? The big no-no. Right? We every day we see our brothers and sisters say they love their people, right? They love their city, their people, everything of that nature, and then their actions speak otherwise. You see daily murders, brothers against brother, sister against sister. They killing each other, right?
And quick point, so you say like people say, "Oh, I love my city of Memphis," but Memphis is known for what? They say Memphis is the city that loves to hate. So our own city, we got a crabs in the bucket mentality when it comes to our own people. We love to hate our own people. I just had a quick point up there.
Absolutely, right? You got First John chapter 4.
This is the book of First John, chapter 4 and verse 20. If a man say, I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. He is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he has seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen? And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also.
We go around saying that we love God always. We always got time for him, things of that nature, and then turn around saying, "Oh, I hate you. I do not want to deal with you." Right? Go around killing each other, beating each other up, stealing each other's cars, right? Stealing each other's clothes, jewelry, things of that nature, right? And you, to your point, also, right? Saying that we do love Memphis, right? But then we got all these crimes, all this gang violence and things of that nature, right?
Say, they say they love the city, but this is the city that love hate. So what do you really love?
E- Exactly. You say one thing, but it shows a different. Let me get James chapter 1, verse 22. Come. Bring this up.
Salakia. This is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 22. And it reads, "But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves." Can you read?
Right. Most High said, not only should you say that you love someone, but you should also show it. Right. And that not only goes into loving your brothers and your sisters, it also goes into loving the Most High as well. Right. But how can you love the Most High, say that you love him, you don't even love your brother? How can you say you love the Most High? You say you show it every day, right? But you can't even look your brother in the eye for 5 seconds without holding hatred for it, or I even think a bad thought about him, right? With that, I'm passive.
Come. Let's get the book of First John. Go back to First John chapter 3. First John chapter 3 and verse 10. So now we're gonna get into some examples of what not to be like, of examples in the Bible of a brother hating his own brother, or sisters hating their own sisters, or really a people hating their own nation. So let me get First John chapter 3 and then start at verse 10.
Book of First John, chapter 3 and verse 10. In this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother.
So you got a line in the sand right here. You got the children of God and you got the children of the devil. The children of the devil hated his own brother. The children of God don't do that. It's quite contrary. So keep reading.
For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one,
Not as who?
not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous.
His own works were evil. Let's get that in Genesis chapter 4. Let's get an example of a brother hating his own brother because his own works was evil. And you will see that, what I'm saying, even on a physical level, you got people hating other people because somebody worked harder than them to obtain something. Somebody worked harder than them to obtain that car and they hate them for it. So they're gonna go steal it. They're gonna go break into it. You can start at verse 2.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 2. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
And what?
And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
And Cain and Abel is I want to say, I'm not a really allegory, but like it is a relation between two brothers that hate, well, one brother hate another brother. And what they remind y'all of? Who? Jake and who? Not Jake and Eve, but later on in Genesis. What brother hated his other brother? Esau and Jacob. So Cain and Abel it's very similar to Esau and Jacob. So keep reading.
Gone. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
Right. So why are you mad? You and your brother knew what to do. You the one who brought up the firstings of your fruit. Abel brought the first of his flock. So you knew what was right from wrong and you chose wrong. But you're mad at your brother. Read.
Right? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted.
We already established that the Most High, he said what? He loved unity of brethren. And then he also said, "What? I hate when you have hatred towards your brother." So he already established good and evil. So you can't get mad at the Most High if you want to bring forth that spirit of hatred and you receive judgment for that. So if you keep reading,
If thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother.
Cain did what?
And Cain talked with Abel his brother.
So Cain was being really deceptive. He hated Abel at this point, but he was just chopping it up with him, trying to get him to, be vulnerable. For why? Keep reading.
And it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
And did what?
And slew him.
See that? So Cain was very subtle and sneaky and cunning. He talked with his brother. You think he told Abel, let's have a fair one. Meet me in the field. No, he snuck him. He talked with him to soothe him, to, what I'm saying, to catch him off guard. That's the type of spirit a lot of our brothers and sisters move in. They talk with you in your face, cackle in your face, but then behind your back, hey, they saying all type of evilness towards you. That's a spirit that the Most High does not like. Okay, get that?
Right? Let's get First John chapter 3, verse 14. Right? And then after that, we can talk about Jacob and Esau. Right? Go on.
First John. This is the book of First John, chapter 3, and verse 14. We know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death. Abideth in death.
That goes into a spiritual meeting, right? If you do not love your brother, that death goes into your separation with God, right? Your separation with the Most High. Said you're dead to me, right? You don't want to deal with your brother in a loving spirit. You don't want to deal with your sister in a loving spirit, right? So, in a sense, right, spiritual sense, you're dead. But keep going.
Con. Verse 15. Salaki. Whosoever hated his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 21, right? A lot of our brothers and sisters, hey, they don't mind killing each other. That's a given. Apparently, Cain didn't have a problem with killing his own brother, right? All because he was jealous. All because he, instead of trying to do good, he said, "Nah, let me take the worst route possible." Right? You don't even have to be an actual murder, right? Most I said you don't even got to be an actual murder. That's just in the spiritual sense,
That's right.
right? Get Galatians chapter 5, verse 21.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 5, and verse 21. Envyings, envyings, murderers, drunkenness, revelings, and such alike, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
What was those first two? Envyings and murderers, right? Most I talks about these two a lot. If you do any of the two, you're not gonna inherit the kingdom of God. Your chances are slight. So you can't go to church saying that you repented. God knows my heart, and then you go back to church. You hate someone in the church, and then you're gonna make it to the kingdom of God, to the kingdom of heaven. That's not how it works, right? Can't go around hating your mom or your dad, your sister, your brother, any relatives, but then go around say God loves me. I'm gonna be forgiven. Can't do that, right? Now let's get Jacob and Esau, right? I could talk about it if you want me to. God.
Genesis chapter 27 and 41.
God.
Read it. Come, let's get Genesis chapter 27, verse 41. And it reads, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. You want to get into that?
We already know in this part, Esau sold his birthright for a morsel of meat.
Right.
He considered it worthless, right? He didn't think nothing of it. And because of that, because he sold it to Jacob, because now Jacob got the blessing, and he also got the blessing from his father, which the Most High ordained for it to happen, he envied his brother. He hated his brother to the point, I got to find him and I got to kill him. Mind you, this is all Esau's doing. I mean, Most High had a hand in it, but the first half he did. He sold it.
Quick point. And it goes back. Esau, the one who sold his own birthright. It goes back to the point where we read Cain and Abel. The Most High said, "Why are you mad? If you do as well, you should be accepted. If you don't, sin lies at the door." So when Cain didn't do well, he still got mad at his brother. And in this part, Esau sold his birthright, his own birthright, but he got mad at his own brother. You the one who sold it. Now you want to rise up and kill your own brother. That's a quick point to have. Okay, Con. All right, Con. Let's get Salaki. Let's get Can you want a computer? Can you look up Stockholm syndrome for me? You hear me?
Yeah, come.
Let me know when you got it up because it's a couple. The definition of that word is the very thing we see every week in and week out.
All right, come.
Read the definition, then you can read the definition. I see.
God. The definition of Stockholm Syndrome is a proposed condition or theory that tries to explain why hostages sometimes develop a psychological bond with their captors.
With their what?
With their captors, right? That's all right there.
Pretty much it. So it go. Okay, so it goes into.
You
It
got one
goes.
right here too.
Con.
So it's a
I think they can hear you.
it says you can go on by. Can you get by?
And then give me
Okay,
Galatians
cool.
4:16.
It says Stockholm syndrome is an emotional response where victims develop positive feelings toward captors.
Towards what?
Towards captors.
So they develop positive feelings toward their captors. And keep going on that because it's a point I want to make.
Or abusers, including love, sympathy, and empathy.
Mm. Let's hit on that.
One more. It's also described as in the syndrome of relationships. It's an impact on the mental. It's a psychological response
Mm.
where captives develop positive feelings towards captors, often also in abusive relationships.
See that? So this syndrome is really talking about our people. And I'm going to show you why. Bring this out of Galatians 4:16.
The book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy?
Say that again.
Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
Because I tell you the truth. So the reason I brought this out because when we go out there to the highways and byways, we out there to spread the truth. The truth is we have enemies that's not our nation, but our own nation look at us as their enemy. But in that same aspect, the true enemy they look at as their friend. They want to develop a positive relationship. If you can you pull up that picture?
Mm-hmm.
And in that picture, it shows symptoms symptoms of Stockholm syndrome. And can you read off a couple of them for me?
Con. The signs of Stockholm Syndrome. You refuse to cooperate
Give me First Maccabees.
against the captor.
Say that again.
You refuse to cooperate against captors,
You refuse to cooperate against your own captor, right?
believing that the captor is a victim,
Can you read?
worrying about the captor's well-being,
Say that one more time.
worrying about the captor's well-being.
How many times we went out there and basically people bottom lines is, well, what about Esau? Well, they don't say Esau, they say, what about the white man? We had a brother, the elder, Michael, I know y'all remember him. He said he gonna fight for he gonna fight for the white man. He said, well, who gonna fight for America? I said, brother, you worry about the wrong thing, bro. You gotta worry about your own nation. He said, well, who gonna fight for the white man? It's a little bit more than that, I think.
Denying or minimizing abuse.
See that?
Positive
Thing.
at all. Positive feelings towards the captor.
See that? So, and the point I want to make is we got them same, and we call it straight out coons. It's just you brother just being coons. When you want to develop positive relationship towards your captors, when the Most High, the Bible that you claim you believe in, tells you otherwise, then you got Stockholm syndrome. You got a coon mentality. But this is not the first time that this happened. And we're gonna read some precepts out of the first Maccabees when Antiochus and the Greeks took over and warred with the Israelites. Now this thing happened in times past, but what happened in this book is gonna happen again. It's gonna be far much worse. So let's start off in First Maccabees chapter 1 and go to verse 11.
Book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
Say that again.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men,
Coons, read.
who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Right, and that's what our people say on the highways and byways. They can get it to okay, we God chosen people, but they don't want to X out. They don't want to leave out their captors. They don't want to leave out the so-called white man. And you know it's a problem because anytime they talk to us, it's never about any other nation. It's always about who? About who?
The white
It's
man.
about Esau, the white man. Every single time. They say it again. You won't hear any other nations. The problem is their problem is they can't see life or the kingdom of heaven without they captors in there. So read that verse again, King.
Right. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Say it again.
Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Come, you can hold that. Give me Nehemiah 13. Because was we always like this? Was we always trying to make a covenant with the heathen? No, we wasn't. But because we lost the estate of who we is, we lost the nationality, we lost our heritage, we lost everything we knew about the Most High. Now we picked up the psychology of America, and we're far behind because even the American, the so-called white man, know that hey, these folks not our friends. They gonna use you. They gonna, they might work beside you, but they know deep in their heart you're not coming to their house.
Right.
You're not coming to their barbecue. Now, Jake, you would say, oh, he could come to the barbecue. Esau not inviting you to their barbecue. So bring this out of Nehemiah 13:3.
Book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 3. Now it came to pass when they had heard the law that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude.
Say that again.
That they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude.
So in times past, when we brought out the law, like for instance, Deuteronomy 7, it says, "Well, don't make marriages or covenants with these heathens." When we hear that on the highways and byways, we make excuses. Well, what about this? What about that? Hey, during the time of Nehemiah, they put away all. You can go back to the first Maccabees. They put away all the mixed multitude from among them, and they had. If you read this chapter, they was marrying them. They had kids with them, and they still put away the mixed multitude because of why? Because of the words of the Most High. So in these last days, we got to come back to that same spirit and stop hating each other and understand that we're not our own enemy. We got a greater enemy. All right. So skip. Let's go down to verse 41. First Maccabees.
Book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
That what?
That all should be one people.
So again, like I said earlier, this aspect in First Maccabees is gonna happen all over again. That one kingdom is what? New world what?
Or
The new world order. That's what they ultimately trying to establish. All these changing of finances, all these changing of government officials, they're trying to establish a new world order. That's the ultimate goal for all government. They don't want to just control one part of your life. They want to be in control of everything you do. What you believe in, what you spend your money on, what you got your time to do. They want to control all of that. So in this time, King Antiochus wrote that everybody should be one on the one consent. Keep reading.
Gone. Bounce it down to verse 42. And every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Say it again.
Many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
So the reason again I'm bringing this up because we are entering into that time where we gonna be public enemy number one, and then at that time you gonna understand that you know what, maybe my own people is not my enemy. Because when we become public enemy number one, anybody with fringes, anybody confessing that they believe in the Most High God, and you're gonna be exiled or worse things. Keep reading.
Verse 40. That's like, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they shall follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice.
Skip down to verse 56. Man.
Verse 56. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. They burnt them with fire.
So again, this time is coming back on the earth to where they going to consent everybody on one accord. Leave your religion. Most definitely leave the Most High, because that's who they really worried about. They're not worried about what that brother say last night, Christmas, or what was that brother Ash? He was saying all these type of different religions. They're not worried about the Hindus. They're not worried about the Muslims. They worried about Krishna. They're not worried about that. They worried about us keeping the law, statute, and commandments. Say that again.
They're not worried about the Viking.
The Norse god Thor and Odin. They're not worried about that. What they worried about is read 57 again.
And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
Right, that they should put him to death. So again, this is the time period we coming into to where we gotta be under one consent or else we're gonna get put to death. So understand that we are not your enemy because we tell you the truth. That's actually contrary to what we're doing. That's actually showing love, to the most high. It's telling you the truth. So bounce down the verse. I think one more verse came. You got a point? Con. Con. I bring that out and you can touch on it. So skipping down to verse 60, it says, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them.
I say bring that out to show how our enemies would do all these bad things to us, right? Kill our babies, kill our women, kill our brothers, yet they still want to serve them. They still want to be like them, take pictures with them, right? They'll look a blind eye to all of this. Then try talking about all the bad that we done. Well, what about all so-called black men and women that's invading all the neighborhoods and ghettos? Who got the biggest crime rates out of everybody? Brother, they're killing all your people. And you want to be with them? That Stockholm syndrome, it got a hold on our people bad, right? But that's all I wanted right there.
So let me get the book of John. Go to book of John chapter 16. So, like I was saying earlier, First Maccabees that's gonna happen again on the earth, and this time it's gonna be much worse. It's called Jacob's trouble. But during that time period, everybody that you deem your friend now, or that you may think that's your friend, that may actually look at you as enemies, they're gonna be the ones that deliver you up. The same thing happened to who? Yahweh Shai. He got delivered up by his own who? His own brothers. You know what I'm saying? His own disciples delivered him up. But bring this out in John chapter 16.
Book of John, chapter 16, verse 1. These things have I spoken to you, that ye should not be offended. They shall push you out of the synagogues. Yet the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth God service.
Say it again.
The time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth God service.
So it's gonna come a time to where they gonna deliver us up and they gonna think they doing a good job. When they come on and they say, hey, anybody you see with fringes, anybody you see say call Allah your house, hey, because they know who you are. Your coworkers know who you are. The government, they definitely know who you are. When they lay down that law, because they going to it slowly but surely. You know, they starting off with the Freedom of Speech Act and Disinformation Act and Misinformation Act, but all of that is geared towards who? It's geared towards the children of Israel, that we can stop bringing the truth out. But the point I'm making in this verse is, it's gonna come a time to where that they are gonna deliver us up, thinking that they're doing God's work. Finish read verse 3.
Verse 3. And these things will they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me.
Right. And that goes back into the points we were making in First John. Because in First John it said what? Hey, if you hate your brother, then you are not of the most high. You're of the devil. God pass with that, King.
Let me get First John, not First John. Let me get First Peter chapter 2, verse 1, right? John chapter 2 and verse 1. That being said, right, we need to do a couple things, right? Bring this out.
This the book of First Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. Wherefore laying aside all malice and guile and hypocrisies and envies and evil speakings, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. That's all I want right there.
Right. We just got off, we got done with Day of Atonement, Feast of Tabs, right? What does all of these feast days go into? Removing sin and becoming a new person, right? In a sense. Let go of all your hatred, all your malice, your envy and spirits, all of these bad things our brothers and sisters need to throw away. Put it aside, right? And start over. Because if you keep going on that path, right, it's eventually gonna lead you to your death. It's eventually gonna lead you to a spot that you don't want to be with the Most High, right? Let me get Galatians again, chapter 5, verse 25. Right.
It's the book of Galatians, chapter 5, and verse 25. If we live in the spirit, let us also walk in the spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another. Can you read?
That's it.
Okay.
I brought that out because not only should we be envious towards our brothers, but also to the enemy, right? I brought that out last night as well. We see them living it up in Babylon, right? It's their kingdom, right? They see how good they got it. They got the latest cars, the nicest houses, and things of that nature. And we want to be exactly like them, to the point we desire to have their status. And now you got the mindset of Esau. You become Uncle Ruckus in a sense, right? Now you're saying that you hate your own people, but you love the enemy, right? And it's sad that we see that, but it's the truth, right? The Most High said it was bound to happen anyway, right? Bring it out.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and verse 31. It says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the forward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. But his secret is with the righteous. Con.
That's a mighty precept, right? Do not envy the oppressor, man. Don't try to be like the oppressor. You see what he's doing to our people. You see National Guard, ICE. You see what they're doing, man. They're killing our people day in, day out, stepping on their necks, right? Taking away family from each other. They're tearing family apart, and it's sad. So why in the world, seeing all of this, knowing this happened to your people, why would you try to be like that? It's not gonna profit you nothing, right? And one more point, just one more verse, right? Matthew chapter 5, verse 44, right? Bring this up.
Con. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
When it says all of this, it don't mean pray for the actual enemy. Don't pray, don't go on your knees praying to the white man, praying to the Asian man, praying to the Indian man, right? Saying, oh man, I bless you, have a good day. I bless you, have better status than me always, right? You live longer than me, things of that nature, right? It's talking about the enemy of your people, right? Huh.
So this is the book of Micah, chapter 2, and verse 8. It says, even of late, my people is risen up as an enemy. Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely as men averse from war. That's just a precept showing you that your own people can be your enemy sometimes.
That's exactly what it's going to. Your people, right? Try forgive your people, not your actual enemy, right? But with that, I'm gonna pass it.
So I got a couple more verses when we close out. Let me give Matthew chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22. Going into loving your enemy in that context, right? 22 and verse 36.
Book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 36. Master, which is great, which is the great commandment in the law. Yahweh Shai said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as my thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Hang all the law and the prophets.
So if you can't get them two commandments down, you might as well just hang it up. You might as well just hang it up. Give me Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. So thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. We gotta really think like, are we really doing that? And if we is there a better way to do it? Or if you're not, how can you start doing that? Read this.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
See that? So the Most High, he more than double down in this book. Love your neighbor as yourself. All right. So you got any more precepts, King? Go ahead.
Speak of rebuking, right? Let me get Matthew chapter 18, verse 15, right? Because the Most High also deals with that as well. If you got a fault with a brother, if you got any problems with him, talk to him about it, right?
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
And him alone, right? Don't try getting an audience, or don't try making an outlet with a whole bunch of people around you.
Right? Between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Keep reading. But if he will not hear thee, take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established.
There's an order in how to handle these things, right? At first, do it between y'all two and y'all two alone. If he listens, all praises. That's exactly what we want, right? But if he don't, get two or three more witnesses to establish order, right? Come.
Con, you want more than I'll skip down to verse 21. Get this point. Okay, con. Verse 17. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it to the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. As a heathen man and a publican.
Right. And if he ends up not listening, if he ends up not wanting to forgive you or just continuing to hate you, have malice in his heart against you, just leave it alone. Let him be as he is. Don't try holding a grudge against him, right? Don't also try hating him as well, because you're no better than him at that point. You're no better than her at that point, right? Come
Con. Skip it down to verse 21. It says, Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me and not forgive him? Till 7 times? Yahweh shall say unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
And our people can't even do that. We got low patience with our brothers and sisters. If they mess up just once, even they already on them. Cut them off, right? I'm not even gonna try dealing with you, right? A lot of our brothers and sisters, they have friends or family, right? And they might not have the best relationship with them. They might make mistakes time and time again. Does that mean cut them off from your life? No. You got to deal with them. You got to have patience with them, right? At the end of the day, that's your family. That's your people, right? And we deal with love and unity. Point blank, simple, right? Let me get Hebrews chapter 13, verse 1. Right. Now go into that great commandment, right? Come on.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, and verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. Let brotherly love continue.
Let brotherly love continue always. That goes into having that patience, right? No matter if you have a fault with somebody or they have a fault with you, you cannot hate them. And that's the only thing you have in your heart, man. You gotta love them. No matter if they're going to the left hand side, no matter if they're doing wrong, you gotta love them, man. Keep going.
Son, let brotherly love continue. Just a little bit more. But be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Remember them that are in bonds and as bound with them, and them which suffer adversity, as being yourselves also in the body. Got a little bit on that?
Mm-mm.
Good on that? Cause give me Nehemiah chapter 5. And I end it with this last verse, Nehemiah chapter 5. So Hebrews 13, going into brotherly love is very important. Let's get Nehemiah chapter 5 and verse number 5.
Book of Nehemiah, chapter 5, verse 5. Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren.
Say that again.
Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren.
God, so I want to bring this precept out because we no longer, and we got to get back to looking at one another as your own flesh, as your own nation. Understand that the Most High created separate nations for certain purposes and certain judgments. The nation of Israel purpose is to keep the Most High commandments. which is to love thy neighbor. He read.
Our children as their children. And lo, we bring into bondage our sons and our daughters to be servants. And some of our daughters are brought into bondage already. Neither is it in our power to redeem them. For other men have our land and vineyards.
So the point I wanted it is, hey, now our flesh is as the flesh of our brothers and sisters. So you got anything else on that, King? You can bring. Come. You want me to get? Oh, you were there? You can bring it out.
Book of John, chapter 13, verse 34. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. Come. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one another, one to another. So if you're a true follower of Yahweh Shai, right? If you're a true Hebrew Israelite, if you really love God, at the end of the day, you're gonna have love for your family, right? You're gonna have love for your people.
What precept?
Precept con.
Now, what is that?
Oh, John chapter 13, starting verse 34, all the way to verse 35.
34. Okay, come.
Con, right? That's all you got? Con. But all praises to the Most High, right? We're gonna end it right here, man. Main message of this whole lesson: love your people, right? Don't hold hatred for them, no matter what, right? With that, we're gonna end it. We're gonna bid family, right? Shabbat Shalom. Have a mighty day, right? We love y'all, man. God, Shabbat Shalom.